I'm not even sure there really is a story exactly. There kind of is a story, but
There's
it's
a story
riddled.
lost in the stupidity of moronicy.
Yeah.
Of all the billions of planets in space, only one is off limits to man. Forbidden World. Touchdown on Forbidden World, where explorers discover an unimaginable horror. Part alien, part human, all nightmare. It lives on Forbidden World, and next it's coming for you. Forbidden World, a science fiction shocker. Rated R, under 17, not admitted without parent.
Dividing, reproducing.
The seed is planted. The nightmare grows. Mutant. Rated R.
Starts Friday at a theater near you. Check newspaper for theater and showtimes.
All right, folks, here we are, a first-time watch. This is a movie that I have not seen, and it is my fault that I've seen it because I didn't really know much about it. I recognize the poster, the VHS art, but it's also got a couple other different names, Mutant and Subject 20. But Forbidden World is a Roger Corman type project that uber low budget, under $1 million was the only thing I saw as far as what it is. And with me as always to discuss these type of movies, because I don't think I've done them with Gord or Beard or anybody else. I think Baron's Ironcaster would be the only other person who'd be like down for really getting into this level of cult. Baron, you seem to be the guinea pig that wants to kind of get into the weeds with me for these kinds of things. So thanks for doing it.
I, I am your Corman punching bag. I tell you,
Ooh.
I mean, I mean, this was no Death Race 2000. Let's put it that way, which I consider a classic. Death Race 2000 is a classic in my opinion.
You see, that's
Paul Bartel directing.
yeah. Maybe that's where we need to go next. We need to go that
Oh,
Death Race 2000 or Rollerball or something that's a
oh.
little more mainstream for folks. This
Mhm.
is right out of the gate. Let me just say, I think I messaged Baron too. Like, I'm really upset and sad and frustrated that they have a decent amount of money to have some really interesting sets and costuming at times, and
Mhm.
then just waste it with a whole bunch of weird schlocky stuff. And I've learned something
Yeah.
about Corman, and you can speak to this, especially after watching Android, which I'll put the description there for you guys to know that's out there.
Mhm.
Uh, I feel like Corman has some issues. I feel like he was interested in getting into, soft core sporn, if you will, and trying to
Mhm.
push the levels of what he could get into a theater and fetishize whatever he was into, because it doesn't really work like at all. In this movie, it's like a complete
Mhm.
distraction. Now, in Android, I felt like it was okay and it was interwoven into the creation of the androids, and I thought it worked well. This is just really, and there's actually these weird cut shots that don't make any sense, but
Well, I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, I believe this is coming off of Galaxy of Terror, which had the ultimate, I don't know if you want to call it fetish scene in there that Corman put in. So, in some sense, it's tame compared to that. But yeah, you kind of see a theme, and it's amazing how those two films can seem so confused together because of, it's like you think this film has these elements, this film has that elements, and it's the other way around.
mhm.
Uh, yeah, I mean, this is something where you have a concept, and it's like, hey, this is a great concept. What can we do to get off the rails?
This baby around. Let's shake him up a little.
Yeah. So we have this character Mike. He's in some sort of hyperspace, but they come out of hyperspace. He has his little android buddy here named Sam, who doesn't really behave like an android at times, and they're in
Mhm.
sort of a space fight back and forth,
Yep.
and it is not awful, but it is not good, and it is one of those things, Baron, where I feel like I don't want. It's not special effects that it's the problem. It is just conceptually not enjoyable. So, for instance, in Star Wars and many other sci-fi, they have a joystick or a controller that we at home can relate to,
Hmm.
and their controlling of the ship, or I guess shields or whatever they're using, are literally like little switches. Boop, 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 boop. We have no idea what's happening. It's sort of it's on camera, but it's outside of our eye line. So like even in like the Millennium Falcon, I always have laughed because literally Chewie gets to pull like the giant spark plug that's there on the
Yeah.
dash of the Falcon, right? It's like a big deal to pull the spark plug. We have switches being pushed and pulled, and we have no idea of the
Hmm.
context. So the opening sequence should be more engaging than it is. And it is frustrating because there is some really cool set design and some stuff that they've recycled and can pull off here before we get into the actual movie. So I don't know.
Well,
What were your thoughts?
well, I think the big problem about that too is basically that opening battle sequence was just recuts of Battle Beyond the Stars, the ships,
Hmm.
the models, and the like. So it's like that helps make it disjointed because how can we make what we did in that film, take that clip element, put it into this, and make it all seem like it's seamless? But yeah, I mean the sets again. Well, we already are familiar with the sets; we've seen them before as an android. And they're great sets, and it's one of the smartest things to do is if you got a great set, just use it again, just redress it and use it. Sometimes though, those of us that may have already seen Battle Beyond the Stars and may have seen Star Raiders, which of course heavily relied upon special effects from Battle Beyond the Stars, it gets tiring a little bit. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't use the Horner music in this as well, uh, from the previous two films I mentioned. But yeah, and very disjointed. I know it's like, oh, we can do it like Star Trek because all they do is press buttons. They don't have a joystick. Well, there's a symmetry to after you've been sitting at a console for 3 years on a TV show, knowing what you're doing to make it look good. They didn't, but the robot looked great and very
Well,
underused, in my opinion.
yeah, the robot gets put on the shelf for some reason. So I would argue that Star Trek works better because you can see the console. You kind of have an
Yeah,
idea of this sort of touch screen technology and
right.
stuff going on. So
Hmm.
again, I think part of it didn't work. And again, yeah, we're talking about the recycling and stuff like that. And then we cut to he's being pulled out because he has to go to this remote station,
Hmm.
and we meet this lady who's revealed to be a scientist because this is exactly what all scientists look like. Again, look at the set. The set looks great. The hallway shot looks good, and all of that.
Beautiful.
But we get her, who acts and performs as though, as I said, she was going to be doing some adult entertainment. It is literally that bad. Like I literally
Yeah.
felt like, why are we just not performing better? Like she doesn't even have
Hmm.
like she has literally this look the whole time in her eyes, like I'm just ready to jump on top of this guy, not deliver any of the lines. It was really
Yeah.
so badly done and very, very distracting. I have to be perfectly honest. Not because I think
And,
she's so smoking hot, it was distracting because I'm like, I can't
mhm.
even enjoy what's happening because you're not we're not on the same page. The audience and you are not on the same page.
Well, yeah, and how much of that is the director? How much of it's Corman? How much of it's this almost sounds like it's not button soup where you throw the button in and you add the stuff and you make a great soup. This is almost like it's BS soup. You throw the
Mhm,
cow patty in there and then it goes downhill from there. And
mhm.
the sad thing is that's June Chadwick, who later went on to be in the V series as one of the visitors.
Yeah.
If anybody can recognize her.
This is my assistant, Dr. Glazer. Barbara knows more about genetic synthesis than anyone else alive.
I've heard good things about you, Commander Colby.
Mike.
Genetic engineering, bacteriological mostly.
You're a new face around here. We don't often get new faces.
That's the truth.
Obviously, for the prepubescent teen inner self that I have is like, oh, I'd like to see her in that different light that they had in this film. But still, what purpose does it show? I mean, my opinion is if you have skin in a film, there should be something about it. I mean, even in films like Animal House, when they had skin showing, there's a purpose behind it. This is a college fraternity. They're in that situation. Boom. But this one is like you have the station harlot walking down there, who's she's a scientist, but she's like 10% scientist, 90% harlot, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
what do we do then? I realize being stuck around with the same bunch of men and see a new one come in there, but the seductiveness or the interest could have been far better, much
And
better than
it would have been so much easier to do because we had other characters like her.
that.
So, for instance, in Andromeda Strain, when they go into the space, they're going through levels deeper and deeper in that experimental lab facility in Andromeda Strain. Here,
Mhm.
they have this sort of decontamination procedure where if you want to show the skin, that would have worked. You just say, "Oh, everybody's got to get naked for this," and you could even have Mike, instead of being completely unaware of this and acting retarded, which makes no sense for a dude that's supposed to be a great Han Solo space
Mhm.
adventurer guy. He acts like he's never
Right.
seen this happen before. Instead, just be like, I never get used to this or something. I says, is Doc, is there really side effects to this? You know how many times I've been under
Mhm.
the blue light, just something. And you could show the skin. It's fine. The audience would be
Right.
more accepted to what's happening. And then we cut
Right.
to another young hot lady who, again, as you can tell, just looks at him with allure right out of the gate. And
Mhm.
the problem with her, well, and I didn't even mention June Chadwick's high heels, which are
Yeah.
absurd in this space movie. We didn't even try to like. You didn't even try to
Well,
go and like modify some clogs. Like in the
yeah.
1970s, there would have been a nice pair of clogs that you could have just made look like some sort of weird boot or something. Like it would have just been easy
Well,
to do.
the long suffering said the same thing because she suffered through this film with me. She goes,
Oh dear
that
Lord, I
was
am
one of the.
so sorry. Oh,
Oh, she
poor.
loves it. We used to always have our bad movie nights or whatever that was always on our Fridays, but things it got in. So this was our bad, our bad or whatever movie night that we had that we normally had. So oh yeah, don't worry about it. It was more enjoyable with us watching it together. But what did you know? It the first thing the heels. It's
Yeah,
like what can
yeah.
I say? I don't know. I did do this film.
I know, I know. But again, they did good things. I mean, look, there's controls on the right, which are a little
Mhm.
on the nose, but again, they look
Yeah.
okay. We have
Hmm.
this lab. Now we get this doctor. We'll get to him more in a minute.
Yeah. Hmm.
But we have this lab that's full of just sort of like chaos and this organism that's doing its thing. So yeah, again, I feel like I say the same things over and over again sometimes, but all right. I guess we just can't mix it. Just all right. So again, throwaway criticism with this dude. So this dude on the right doesn't last long,
No.
and we didn't even bother to pretend that we're in a sci-fi movie. We literally had just feel like we just got a dude who was outside. We didn't really have LA Fitness or anything back then, so I don't know where they got
Mhm.
him. But I feel like he would have just been at a local YMCA gym or something, and they said, "Hey, Chad." I don't even know his name. I have no idea. I didn't even look up his name. Uh, he doesn't last long enough to really get attached to. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, Jimmy. I think he's Jimmy, isn't he? Yeah,
Yeah, Jimmy Swift. Michael Bowen is the actor who
yeah,
played him.
yeah. Michael Bowen. Hey, but he was in Valley Girl, so he'd actually been
Yeah.
acting and auditioned for this nonsense, and then he goes on to play on Lost. Wow. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And
Well,
he
I'm
also told the
oblivious to all
Walking
of that.
Tall. Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop 3, Godfather 3. So I mean, he kind of goes to more respectable films. So
But he's in like a muscle shirt, and he's
hmm
just a moron. He's supposed to be watching the organism that's out of control. Hence the reason Mike's there, right?
hmm
And it's there. It's sort of a spider web esque sort of like alien face hugger looking type thing. It's
hmm
pulsating, it's moving. And his idea is not only to open the thing, but at one point put his hand in. I mean, it's just, I thought this was supposed to be a science facility, Baron.
yeah.
That was how it was pitched.
Last time I was checked, yeah, but I mean, when you get your guy off of Muscle Beach, there, hey, Hey, want a job? Come on. We deal with mutant organism. Yeah, sir, dude. Um, so yeah, absolutely ridiculous setup. I mean, right across the board. There should have been. I mean, it'd been more believable if that thing got out and was able to crack the thing open. And
Yeah,
now you're having a hunt and seek going on.
see, it looks good.
Yeah, it
Um,
does. Looks great.
and he's got like the curious boy look about it, but he's supposed to be a science. He's on a science vessel.
Hmm.
So again, a quick writing tip for people at home, like if you want to get on low, this again. We're in an era where you could easily make a movie like this and better
Yeah.
because the technology makes it cheaper. Okay, if you want to write the script, let me just script doctor it up. Just have him not be part of the set. Listen, I know this isn't your wheelhouse, Jimmy. You're in charge of, I don't know, some sort of repairs. I don't know. He's too young for that too. Ugh,
Hmm.
I don't know what to do with Jimmy. Jimmy, maybe he's a cook. Maybe he's some. No, he's too young to
Yeah,
be a cook. Like you, I don't know what he is, but
janitor
he's.
Jimmy. Janitor Jimmy. I heard you needed to have your toilet unplugged, dude. You know.
He should be in charge of like the poop and the cleaning and the
Yeah.
sure that'll work.
Mhm.
I just need you to watch this while while the adults deal with the situation. Just let me know if anything changes.
Right.
And instead, he wants to play with it like a tarantula in an aquarium, and that's how we get around. Just so again, the stupidity level here is on the meter goes all the way over to it's all
Mhm.
the way over, folks. I don't want to tell
Everybody's an idiot except for the robot, and the robot's turned off. That's why they turned the robot off. It was the smartest person in the room.
you. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. Let's see here. There. Okay. Well, so we get two random characters who. So we're just again we're copying Alien. He
Yep.
did that obviously. You said in Galaxy Terror or whatever, and he's doing it again
Hmm.
here. So we got token black guy and random older science guy. This guy's turned into a chain smoker, which will get the fact that he has cancer. But
My word, Bill Nye let himself go, didn't he?
dude, he is the worst scientist you can possibly imagine. I don't know that when his lab coat was not covered in crazy blood stains and stuff. I
Mhm.
mean, is it? It's I'm under the impression that you're supposed to be trying to contain Project 20 or trying to figure out.
Mhm.
He's got pieces of it all over his clothes, like pretty much the whole film. The whole station is
Yeah,
contaminated with this stuff.
yeah. And the sad thing is, he's my favorite character in the whole thing. That says something.
Yeah. His character actually has like performance it like stuff to do. Like he's actually
Right.
has like it's sad because it's so rushed at the end on how they try to figure out
Yeah.
how to deal with that. But
Hmm.
he at least has a story arc that matters. Um,
Hmm.
I compare that to um, Token guy who felt like he was in charge of repairs and keeping the ship running, but then when he doesn't
Hmm.
seem like he knows where anything is because every line to him is, "Can you go find?" or "Can." Dude, he should be the one. Mike
Yeah.
should not be the person that knows remotely about anything. He's the only. It's like it's literally just no one backed up to explain what any characters are supposed to say and do, and it's all
Right.
written by retarded people directing retarded people. It makes no sense. This
And what makes it worse, right? This is back in that era where you have the token black guy, right? And they even forget to do the feet don't fail me now, which was so classic back at that time.
Mhm.
That's how bad they were at this.
Yeah. Yeah, it indeed is. It's just terrible. So, this is the head scientist talking to Mike. I don't even bother want to waste my time on him. He was the most
Mhm.
irritating guy.
Yeah.
What is interesting about some of these shots is the fact that you do get cool set design. Like I said, look at
Oh,
how beautiful
beautiful.
this is. This is good stuff,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, and you can see, and of course, if you caught our show about Android and watched Android, you can see where they reuse these and how
Yeah,
great they are.
yeah.
I wish these sets were still around. Can you imagine if we could get our hands on these sets, Pop, and say, "Hey, go nuts, make a movie."
We use my podcast in these places, man. It'd be great. Like I'm on the set
Oh,
of Android today, and I'm filming my,
there we
just
go.
doing a week long of podcasts at the Android set, and
Yeah, it's like, look out, there's a hot lady coming up behind you, ready to do you in, doctor.
yeah. So every now and again, though, there are some pieces or set pieces and stuff that don't work. So the other young lady, I showed her briefly.
Hmm.
She is going to lay down and take a nap while this creature's out, by the way. No one knows
Yeah.
exactly where the creature is, what's going on with the creature. Jimmy's been liquefied on a table somewhere. She has basically what looks like a tissue box that's been rigged up with a bulb light on top. And she has this
Hmm.
random photo, and
Right.
don't know why they would have these kind of photos in the future, but that's what she has. And she just takes a
Hmm.
nap. And they do it so they can show her hoo-has.
Yep.
I guess I don't know. It's always strange because I also feel, again, like I said, I learned a lot more about Roger Corman, because if he really understood how this would be talked about more or would work more, it's
Hmm.
you show less is more. So for instance, it's showing from the side and showing from the behind and showing in a steamy room instead of showing them in a steamy room quite literally like it was.
Right.
Everything is so overdone.
Hmm.
Ah, oh boy.
Yeah, it's going into that soft, you know what area, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and in some ways, the one scene you're almost getting right into that, you know. But okay, let's
Yeah.
change that rating from R.
Yeah. So Mike is a slut. He takes care of the doctor early on, and then not more than a few moments later, he goes into this other little. Here's him making it with that woman,
Hmm.
and we do that scene, and it's not only too long and awkwardly
Yeah.
long that one of the employees, this guy, starts spying on them before he starts investigating. So he's like total. I don't know, what is peeping tom a thing in sci-fi? Like it feels like it's not
No.
even the appropriate term, because there's peeping tom involves like a window and a ladder maybe, but
Mhm.
here he just flips a computer. I
Um,
don't know, man. I was like,
maybe
what
he's
on
maybe
earth?
he's Video Vic. We'll call him Video Vic
Oh,
instead
he's
of
a
Peeping
yeah. It
Tom.
was so he's this perv that then goes on the hunt. Like we don't know what
Yes.
this organism really is or does, but it liquefied Jimmy,
Hmm.
and he just goes out on his own. So the music is
Yeah.
terrible because the
Oh.
music. Oh my gosh, the music is so god awful. We should talk about the music for me. Baron, the music. So early on, the music is even more irritating because it should be
Mhm.
action driven or
Right.
something with intensity, and instead they just use classical music because that's what they're going. They're just ripping stuff from
Yeah.
public domain.
Hmm.
It doesn't work at all because it
Yeah.
should be more like on the edge of your seat and action and shooting and the spaceship and the whatever. And it's like got classical music. It's like relaxing me. I'm like, wait, I'm confused. And then
Right.
later it doesn't, I don't know. The music is absolutely distracting the entire time as well.
Mhm. I mean, yeah. I mean, as the long suffering was saying as we're watching, she loves that what they used for that music in the beginning, and it's like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to throw like a composite 2001 in the middle of a battle? I mean, when they used the classic music in
Hmm.
2001, it was these majestic scenes.
Hmm.
You go into the space station, people are floating around, stuff like that. They're not trying to blast each other. If you're going to use a classical piece, at least take a Richard Wagner or something like that, and have that
Yeah.
powerful boom. Bring in Mars from Orff, or Carmina Burana, like they did with Excalibur.
Right.
But no, no, no. Exactly what you said. It's like, it's nice, beautiful. I mean, I love the music, but it's not done
Yeah.
right.
It's not lined up right is
Yeah,
what my point was for sure.
yeah.
And then they get back, they do what they do well. So if you like Roger Corman and you love his sort of movies, and again, I don't know why you want to smoke your cigarette while you have the goo of the creature all over you and I mean, literally he's putting it in his mouth in these sequences. Oop, I'm going the wrong area. Got to be careful where I go.
Oh,
Um,
definitely in
oh,
this. Yeah,
oh,
definitely when
jeez.
you start getting that part. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to go there. So, okay, it doesn't take a rocket science to follow what's happening, but if you take
Mhm.
the movie literally, it does get confusing what's happening because they kind of pick and choose what they'll explain. Like the dude smoking, then he just randomly is giving himself a shot or something. You don't really know. At the end, you kind of have a feel for what's supposed to be going on here.
Mhm.
But as I said, he is at least the only performer who has something to kind of work with because his
Right.
character at least feels like it was treated seriously.
Mhm. And
Mm.
it seems like, unlike the others, is It's like, okay, I'm in this crap, but you know what? I'm going to do the best job I can with this crap. You
Hmm.
actually, seem to really, okay. Let me just get into it. I know I'm gonna regret myself in the morning. I'm gonna have to take a shower in the morning, but let's get into it. It's like, what the heck? That's what they're paying me for. And so this ridiculous character is the one, that I enjoyed the most out of this whole thing. You'd think the space cowboy Mike would be someone you'd kind of glom onto, but I mean, honest to
He
Pete,
doesn't really matter.
he doesn't.
He
Why is
doesn't.
he
This
there?
this this actor. Wow, what a story! This actor. So first off, the actor was in Repo Man, Sid and
Yep.
Nancy, Straight to Hell. I mean, that's some really good stuff. And then and ironically, he actually died of cancer, lung cancer.
Yep.
Like, wow, that talk about a
Hmm.
strange like.
Yeah. Exactly. It's
Whoa. Yeah.
and and that's just it. Though. Yeah. Yeah. Just a huge one. But even the one who's playing the other doctor, he has a bit of a pedigree. It's like, well, why did you use it? It's like, this is even Jesse Venn, who plays Mike Colby. He has a little bit of a pedigree when it comes around to
Mhm.
doing things, up in TV, Western stuff like that. But yeah, you would think that he would have put a little more effort into this movie. So,
That's
but
how we
yeah,
thought about this because of Silent Running. That's how we connected, right? Because he's from Silent Running. That's so when you
yeah,
see
yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's how
absolutely.
it's all coming together. I knew there was a reason we ended up here, and we went through Android and Corman, and then Silent Running,
Mhm.
and then so
Right.
that's so. Yes, when you got old guys like us, you have
Hmm.
to be on a journey with this for more than one video, folks. So make sure
Yep.
you enjoy that. In the
Hmm.
okay, I mentioned that Mike's character is a slut.
Yeah.
So he's just walking around. We don't really have the alien contained. We don't really know what's going on.
No.
So the other hot girl that's in this science lab, I think she decides that she's just going to take, I guess there's a steam, like a sauna. They have a built-in sauna. You go in
Hmm.
there and she just gets naked and get in there to do her sauna. And Mike just walks in and they just decide, hey, why not? And he uses the same cheesy lines on her that he uses on the other doctor. And they have their little witchy.
Hey, who is that? Baxter?
This is my goddamn steam bath.
I'm sorry.
Get out!
You shouldn't be wandering around with that thing on the loose.
I thought it was locked up in the lab.
We don't know where it is.
You know something? You look like you could use the steam bath.
Well, as a matter of fact, I had a hard night.
The weird thing was they try to show like the creature in the vent,
Yeah.
but then they don't
Like,
do anything. So the creature is actually just peeping Tom as well. Like I thought
hmm
that was like, wait, are we doing something with the vent? Like, it
hmm
tried to attack us. Did it really? 'Cause it didn't really
Yeah.
seem like it did anything. It just sort of like,
It started
uh,
to drool.
yeah, it leaked.
Basically, that's all it did. Yeah. I
It
mean, that's all
leaked.
it did. And interesting enough, Mike and her never actually get together anytime through the film.
No, no. Then we
Maybe
sort
on the
of
way
have
home,
a
but not during the film.
yeah. Then we have a weird transition. Again, we show off some really, cool
Hmm.
effects with these graphics. I love the graphics on these
Oh.
graphics of showing the ship or the station and stuff. They were really, really top notch. They're gonna go out, and it gets out into the planet or whatever. And here's Gooey Jimmy, and this is all the stuff that's happening while they're out on their planet, and she's kind of like playing like eye in the sky kind of thing as
Hmm.
they try to sort out what they're
Yeah.
doing.
Taking over
Uh,
for the pervert's job that disappeared.
yeah, and she's dumb as a rock. She has no
Mhm.
idea what's going on. Again, we're supposed to be on a science station, some sort of research
What
facility. Two of the
what was her
dumbest
job?
humans. I don't know. They didn't. They,
They
they
never said.
never. I don't think they even explain. So it's just here's Doctor One, here's Doctor Two, here's Doctor
Right.
Three. Then there's just other people. No one says Jimmy is in charge of sanitation and maintenance,
Hmm.
and I don't remember the other guy's name. Ray is in charge of comms.
Hmm.
Um, she is really a great genetic researcher. She's my TA, my assistant.
Hmm.
Any we have nothing to go on. Mike just says, "Hey, you go do this." She has no idea what she's doing.
Right. I
And
mean, you had that wonderful scene where they're at the table. I mean, it could have been a
right,
wonderful scene.
right,
Sorry.
yeah. No, you're
That
right.
where you explain all that. It's like, yeah, this is our meet and greet. This is our communion. This is what so let me introduce you to the crew. And the person that's not here that you met, they're in charge of this. That's why they're not here.
Man, you're 100%
Yeah.
right. They don't mind ripping off Alien, but when they had the perfect chance to do it properly, they
Hmm.
didn't do it. Because that was the point of that scene in a lot of ways, is that you start to have like this
Hmm.
introduction or elaboration on all the different things. They start talking about their cuts. You see the camaraderie, so you feel like you and the audience are kind of part of all of that, like in that
Hmm.
conversation, right? You're the fly on the wall.
Right.
In this movie, you don't really have any of that. You have a couple awkwardness because
Yeah.
behind all of this is what's really going on is this experimentation and stuff that has happened in the past, but we gloss over some of it so quickly that it
Hmm.
doesn't really matter. So,
Right.
uh,
And then to go back, that's the important thing about having a table or dinner scene in a movie in many aspects. Just like, in religion where you have communion, everyone gets together. That's where we all commune together. That's where we talk, and you have that interchange. What better for a movie director to be able to get so much of a story over a small period of time with just quick little interchanges with the actors and actresses, and them being able to show a little bit of their acting chops while doing that, and then making it look seamless. Like, okay, we just got a lot of information. We know a lot about it, but it wasn't felt like it was forced upon us. They wasted that. So I just have to bring that point up. Dinner scenes are perfect for stuff like
and
this.
we could have
Filmmaking.
easily have done that. Hear me out again, script doctorate,
Hmm.
and we could have had both the hot girls flirting with Mike, very
Hmm.
much like has been done in Hollywood. One's giving him the eyes, one's rubbing his leg, whatever. One's in his, and then so it's like I got to do that. I got to get out of here because I'm exhausted. I got to go. I'm going to go take a steam, and then she's in the steam. Like
Hmm.
it really isn't even like difficult to clean up and improve some of these things. I
Hmm.
still don't totally like the transition to the planet on the outside thing. And then I was like, what is happening? And they just kind of randomly shoot at it, but they're
Yeah.
also like bickering over shooting at it. So that kind of happens. And then poor Sam, I didn't know lasers do this, but it ricochets off rocks and hit poor Sam. Poor
Hmm.
Sam is wronged in this movie.
This thing is full of secrets. We can't let it die. I'm not gonna let it die, Doctor. I'm gonna kill it. No! Everybody ready? Ready.
If we're doing Forbidden World 2, it's the revenge of Sam's, because Sam just comes back to eliminate everyone that's treated him badly in the Forbidden World universe because
Yeah.
poor
This is the
Sam.
birth of the Terminators. This is the birth of the Terminators. This is the birth of any other robotic entity that wants to take over the world to right wrongs. It's Sam from this
Before
film.
before Roy Batty and Blade Runner, we have Sam. We have
Right.
Sam.
And you know who Sam took out first? His agent.
Good point. Yes. It goes down into this chute. Let's see if we can get a shot. And it grabs
Hmm.
the guy. Let's see, we get the shot of the spider thing. Here's the spider thing. So what it's morphed into is this
Hmm.
thing.
Right.
No setup though. No real like. There's no sheds that anyone finds. There's not an ounce of suspense in this film at all. It's just a whole bunch of random things happening. And then the guy that gets pulled down the shaft was the other doctor. And then they're trying to figure out where it's going to be, where it's going to go. And of course, it's going towards our dopey young girl who has no idea because she's like, it's 432. I don't know how to read the vent numbers, and I don't know. It's coming to you. It's coming to you. Like I don't.
Yeah. We know. We know where it's going. Just run.
Brian, this is for the whole complex. There's about 1 million vents on this thing.
Give us the route.
Wait, will you? It's all in numbers. The destination is HQR 51W.
Oh, baby, that's the control room.
Does anybody think that I don't like this movie? I mean, I don't know what to say.
Masterpiece, best we've ever watched together, Pops. The best ever.
Oh my gosh. So we cut. It's brutal. We so we got to cut back to what. Meanwhile, what is also happening is the organism that's in the lab is changing and evolving, and um, what she just runs in. They're
Hmm.
hugging over what happened, and they're like, "There's." She's like, as far as we have seen, I'm not sure she has seen what's happened to liquefied Jimmy, who keeps expanding across the room. And they just walk around in their little heels, and they're gonna hug.
Yeah,
And
yeah, they're in their heels still, and she walks into a room full of evolving Turkish delights.
Yes, and on a scale of 1 to 10, here's your score so far.
it is brutal. They do these effects, and I don't even hate the effects. Many of those effects actually are pretty good for a low budget film like this. But then we end up with like the only serious character and actor in the movie trying to
Mhm.
explain what's happening to a room full of dolts who has no idea what he's actually saying. And
Right. I mean,
and, and people that don't care. It's one of the two. You get one what? Yeah.
right. It's the fact that you have these great low budget effects being wasted on a
Mm-hmm.
film like this.
And
It's like,
sets.
honestly,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, can you please move all these sets over to a more worthy low budget film, and we'll put you, say, in the sewers with the turtles, okay? And you can have fun down there.
Remember we talked about an Android, how he kind of bailed on supporting Android because it
Yeah.
wasn't exploitive enough. And that kind of goes to
Hmm.
my thesis about his sort of weird fetish, because I feel like
Right.
creators on that were like, no, we don't need more of this nonsense shoehorned in. It's great. This is a,
Mhm.
and it's like if he could have just stayed on focus with that movie, it could have been better. And
Right.
instead, we get this derivative nonsense of
Well,
just like
yeah.
bad TV and sporn. That's basically what it is. It's bad
Well,
TV and sporn.
well, exactly. I mean, take the two comparisons between the two is, of course, the actors were really into doing Android. It was like they were actually making an effort. There was that story, the backstory, all that across the board, and of course the evolving story. As we started to learn more about Max, um, and then when they did have the skin scenes, there was a purpose behind it. It wasn't just superfluous. It wasn't just let's have a gratuitous skin scene. Unlike this film, it's like, hey, get it, okay, whip them out now. What's my motivation? Just whip them out.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Yep, that's what we
You
do.
know, yeah,
We just
and
do it.
that's yeah,
We
and
just
that's
do
the
it.
big difference.
They're
Yeah,
just literally the ones washing the other one's back, and you're just
right.
like, there is an alien. Actually, there's more than one alien now, because now you've got the squishy things that are expanding across the room. You got
Mhm,
whatever's left of the liquefied 2 or 3 bodies that are around, and then the spider mutant thing, which is also out there. I know what we could do. We
mhm,
got time to just go take a shower. At least they're not in their heels, so they're not in the
right.
heels. They're washing each other's backs. This is so
Mhm.
again. This is like if this was in Friday the 13th, we all make fun of it. Like it's so stupid, and we
with
were
the
making
long
fun of
suffering
Friday
night.
the 13th too.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
so
that
retarded.
too. But I mean, this one we were. It's like, let's have this semi-erotic, pseudo lesbian girl talk scene.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
And
You know,
then the solution is the one again. The one on the left is supposed to be a doctor. The other
right?
one is the Joker. We don't know why she's there. They're
Yeah.
in bathrobes, by the way. Just they're in bathrobes. They didn't put any uniforms back on. As far as I know, they don't have a gun or a weapon. They're going to
No.
go and talk to the spider monster because that's their theory.
Hmm.
Her theory is, I want to go test my theory. Will you go with me? I have no idea why the other girl would go along with this. I have no
Hmm.
idea why anyone thought this was a good idea. And I have to be honest at this point, because this movie is not that long.
No.
I'm just under an hour in, and I have to be honest, I was already checked out. And this is where I was checked out. So I got the last. Now I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, okay, I got like 17 to 20 minutes left, and it's going to be rough. Like I got to figure out how to get through this. I
Hmm.
think I paused it and came back because like, oh, this is so dumb. It's so bad. And then it was also like, I know there's too many humans left,
Hmm.
right? I feel like this. What's the deal?
Right.
So what they do is
Stuff
they
is going
also,
down. Stuff is supposed to go down about now, so we're waiting for that.
yeah, but we
And
just run out of the clock. So it's on this like shelf. so they can puppeteer it.
Mhm.
And they kind of move it around, and she's there. And they have this scene. You can see how it's blurred. That's not us. That's actually the effect that they use. So this is from the
Mhm.
spider monster's point of view.
Well, I don't know
And
about you,
then,
but this was me because about this time I was having like my fifth uh, glass of whiskey to help ease the pain.
oh
Okay, that's
no,
a lot better now.
yeah. Um, she has her thesis that it can communicate. Quote, "Do
Mhm.
you scan?" And that it's literally somehow she's using a keyboard, but it somehow is interfaced with this to communicate.
Mhm.
And then it just abruptly attacks her and rips her
Right.
apart, very much in the way that we saw in an Alien movie.
Yeah.
And the other girl in the bathrobe runs to go find Mike. That's the solution.
Mhm.
Is it possible you understand, but
It's so dumb.
It's so dumb, it's brilliant.
No! It's just dumb.
Yeah. Can we coexist? Then that's when the thing comes out and
Yeah.
does the little tappy thing. It's like, wait a moment, you should be suspicious because it was not doing the tappy thing beforehand.
Right. And it
And then
said,
it
please
goes,
stand by. It
whoa.
just kept saying, please stand by as this
Yeah.
giant tentacle thing is moving towards her. And she can see it. It
Mhm.
wasn't like something from behind, and it wasn't like something that was abrupt. The
Mm-mm.
other girl could have said, hey, doctor, maybe you shouldn't stand there and let the tentacle thing get that close to you. That's not going to end
Mhm.
well for you, especially, and maybe not for me. Nope, never a thing. Oh, let's just run back to the lab and see what Mike has to say about things. He's like, oh, wait, you mean the girl that I was just with is let the spider thing? Yep, pretty much, Mike. That's how that went down. And then,
Well, I'm glad it was her instead of you because we haven't been together yet, babe. I
yeah,
had her at
I
least.
still got it for you. Let's check in with the
Yeah.
doc and his patient. Yeah, ooey gooey. That's still going on, by the way. We're all in the
Mhm.
room full of ooey gooey. He does at least let the audience know what's going on by shooting some of his cancer, presumably his cancer. I don't know how he, but just go with it, folks,
Yeah.
into a sample, and it basically just dies. And we're like, okay, so he can shoot his cancer into the creature is going to be how they're going to try to get out of this. We have to get rid of some characters though, because we still have Token,
Mhm.
right? We still have Token. We got to deal with him, and we have to figure out how to show off some really cool more sets. By the way, there are some good sets. He
Yeah.
dies sort of like in the console, quote, looking for the Mayday box. I don't know why he would not know where the Mayday box is, but that's happening.
Mhm.
And the doctor is rushing around trying to figure out how to get eaten so that his cancer will be in the creature,
Mhm.
but he's an idiot. It doesn't do that right. And now
Mhm.
the close of the movie is it's so dumb. I couldn't do it. I can't even say it out loud, Bert.
I'll do it. I'll do it for you. So he has a good old Texas Jim there go out there and perform without morphine. First of all, he sends the girl running back to get morphine where she's attacked by the monster.
Yeah.
But they're running out of time, so that Texas Max starts opening up the guy doing performing so he can reach in there and grab what was it, the liver or the kidney? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's a
To
liver.
reach in,
Just cut me open and pull
yeah,
my cancerous liver out and then
right.
feed it to the spider monster and it'll kill it.
Mhm. And eventually they do get back with the morphine and give him the morphine, but by that time it's too late. So now he's got the cancer bomb.
And it's just a ball of cancer in his hand. And it's like a Nerf football that he's trying to figure out how to get into the old spider. And that's
Yes.
how this movie's going to close is them trying to figure that out at the last minute.
Hmm.
And, can Mike get it out in time to do
and,
it?
and then it turns into like a football film. Hot, hot, hot.
Not a great plan.
All right, so this might get flagged, so I'll have to cut it. So if there's a piece that doesn't stay, I don't know why the movie does this in the very, very beginning of the movie, which I thought was supposed to be Mike dreaming, and it's all these different cuts.
Yeah,
That was not the case. It was a preview of what was about to happen. And
right.
just as we're trying to get the football in the spider, we get more chaos as well. And it is it's dumb beyond dumb. I don't know what to say. It just sort of like
Yeah.
oozes right on out. I guess it worked.
Shaving cream, be nice and clean. Shave every day, and you'll always be keen. Except for the alien that eats the cancer, because that's what it looked like was foaming out. It was just shaving cream.
Yeah.
I'm not dead. He says he's not dead. Yes, he is. I'm not getting better. No, you're not. You'll be stone dead in a moment. Oh.
And then they're the two that make it. So Mike's happy. We know how his plane ride is going to be on. I guess he got turned. We missed the entire scene. So Sam was trying to say, some of your ideas are dumb. Sam was trying to say, it's kind of stupid, Doctor. Don't you think? Just shut up, Sam. And she literally leans over and goes, boop, pushes a button, turns Sam off. And we never deal with Sam much at all. He goes down to the planet, as I said, got ricocheted a laser blast. We presume he's back on this station, but we don't really know.
Well,
yeah,
he joined in with the fight. He joins in the fight and gets slammed across the room and split in half or whatever. So it's like he's just a punching bag.
He's irrelevant.
Yeah. The best character in there, if they would have kept him in there, the next best character, which was the best character, was the doctor with the cancer. It's like
yeah. So he was all right. So yeah, that's where we are on things. So listen, I am not a hater of schlock and culty movies. Neither is Baron. We are sort of like old school schlocky appreciate, and definitely understanding a movie for when it was made. Like I think we both are like, look, this is in the 80s. You don't have money. We have a good appreciation for Roger Corman. Roger Corman was able to get, I guess, good kids out of acting schools and some journeyman performers who were like, listen, I got nothing going on this weekend. Sure, I can give you a few days. It's kind of like the Ed Wood story of getting Bela Lugosi. You feel like you have some appreciation for that.
Right.
This movie doesn't give me much of anything to go on, Baron. I got nothing to go on. I don't even know if I can. I mean, I'm going to kind of lean into a 1 out of 5 because of the sets, and they're not horrible at like the schlocky goo and stuff. So I guess 1. I'm really being kind. I'm really being honest. I'm not even sure there really is a story exactly. There kind of is a story, but
there's a story lost in the stupidity of moronicy.
Yeah.
I mean, really, honestly, that's what it is. I mean, it was a good enough story to be redone again with another V actor, Mark Singer, and also one of his first appearances in there, Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston's right. Yep.
Yeah, Dead Space.
Yep.
I mean, someone thought it was good enough for that.
I think that was a direct-to-video, though, right?
I think you might be right.
I think it was direct-to-video. I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
I don't even know when I've seen that movie. I've seen it in the VHS era. I don't know when I've seen it since. But there's this.
I know it's on Tubi. I know it's on Tubi too. So.
But like Android, you feel like contextually, there's something sci-fi fun that we could work with. It's an alien. It's just the prime time to make the movie. We get why you did it, Roger Corman. We get why your people were rallying around each other, reusing sets, trying to shovel out some sci-fi horror. Right. I just think you were just obsessed with boobs and stuff that don't even like. I get that you want to have them even in there. This would have been, you easily could have still had some of those moments. You just did it in these awkward. And what is with the weird cut thing I mentioned? I can't show it. I can't show it. Too many boobs. It's so retarded.
Well, yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot about that, but it doesn't make sense. He had it at the beginning of the film, then he had it at the end of the film. At first, I thought, well, maybe this is him after the fact, and he's remembering what it is, and now we're going into the story of where he was,
how he ended up in the sleep chamber, and Sam was waking him up, and something.
Right.
Nope. That
which
wasn't what
didn't
they did either.
seem which didn't seem logical. It's like, well, obviously you got an FTL ship, you're being brought out of ice to battle with somebody, and then you got to continue on journeying to a planet that's obviously a distance away. So you're not even explaining your space travel that well, making it confusing. Um, there is a good story behind it, obviously, but then again, it's a story we've already seen. Instead of an alien, we're going to do with genetically mutated people, which is what basically this was. We're playing around with genetics so we can help take care of the food crisis out there. And now, so the one person gives birth to a mutated creature and dies, which is one of the stories they had in there. Very briefly touched upon, but badly hinted at for build up. Then you got the people being turned into the Turkish delights, and it's like at the speed that those things were growing with the Turkish delight, that a genetic creature would be buried in him in a heartbeat. So why does he need more than two? But it continues on. Okay, I'm just gonna just wipe everybody out, and I just want to be buried in food. Um, it has no sense. There's no real true hunter prey. They were trying to do a hunter prey thing, but it's like no. I mean, even from the beginning with Johnny the beachcomber, uh, going on there, you could have a wonderful hunt and prey scene in there. But no, let's just go with Johnny Stupid. I'm going to reach my hand in there. I don't care
He
who you are. I don't know how much you're offering me. My hand is staying right here.
he even turns around to call and let the doctor know, hey, this thing is kind of moving around or
Right.
whatever. And the doctor kind of blows him off. So when he turns around and it's not in the thing,
Hmm.
seemed like the obvious setup for where we're going. That is not what they did. They just
Yep.
went with more stupid Jimmy moves. Like it just and I want to go back to what you said because we didn't even touch on this. So so there's a couple of awkward moments in the early part of the film before the doctor eventually is forced to explain that he used some sort of in vitro technology with this
Hmm.
volunteer named Annie to create this basically baby that killed her. That's actually this organism. It's so not needed.
Hmm.
We didn't need any of that to just have this. It's just an experiment thing that we're working on and it's gone awry. We didn't need to
Right.
get into that weird, creepy, odd story. And it's sort of like kind of like interwoven in. And no one knows who Annie is. Nobody cares. The doctor is the least interesting of the doctors. He's not even
Hmm.
remotely like he's the one that goes down the shaft. You saw the little fake feet for a second, folks. He just, so yeah, this movie is
Right.
it's in it. I think when I messaged you, I said it's just sad and it's frustrating. They had, because they have
Yeah.
decent sets, they have some
Hmm.
decent people who are doing some effects. He
Hmm.
gets decent enough performers that they're
Right.
as far as like they have the ability to do better than this.
Yeah.
But then I don't know,
These people
maybe
have pedigrees, but
yeah,
it's like, okay, all I'm here for is just a quick paycheck.
I
And
guess
yeah,
the writer is.
and only cancer doctor is the one that really seemed to be taking it, you know, taking the performing seriously, not if not the situation around, but it's like, okay, I'm going to have fun with the character. I'm going to play this character, and let's see where we can go with the character. Um, and knowing that this is absolutely ridiculous, having if we had a great payoff with the invertal fertilization with Annie, but we didn't have that. There was, it was so conjoined or whatever. It was such. There was nothing for a connection. If you had a properly done connection where there was some investment, yeah, that would have worked, but there was none. So it's wasted. Exactly. We didn't need any of that. Cut it out, burn it. Who cares?
Let's put all the blame on Roger Corman, and here's why. I found a quote from the director. Alan
Oh
Holtzman
no.
says they had to start shooting without a script. Corman said, you have 4 days to write, produce, and direct a 7 to 8 minute opening for a space movie. I'll give you an astronaut, a robot. If you need any inspiration, I want to direct a Lawrence of Arabia in outer space. He created that sequence using the dogfighting sequences, borrowing the footage from Battle Beyond the Stars, which you mentioned. And then that got Holtzman the job. He shot and started working thinking that it was going to be called Mutant. They
Hmm.
filmed in 20 days, under $1 million. And because of all that, they often said they had to be careful what they touched or what they stepped in the sets because it was wet paint, which makes sense because it's ooey and gooey every time you turn around.
Oh, can you imagine the smell? Oh God.
So when they finished, Holtzman realized that he didn't even have enough footage of the quote mutant, and they had to redo some sequences, which they did terribly, but I understand what
Mhm.
they did. So,
Yeah.
yeah, this was so Corman. I think just it's a weird thing for me because I always knew of Corman and always knew of things, but I always had glommed on to stuff I think that were more widely acceptable.
Mhm.
And I feel like the bizarre sort of showman movie, I don't know. I feel like it just overshadows that he's just an irresponsible person also. Like it's just like this is easily could have been again, I understand. Like he has a legacy of inspiration to all these guys,
Right.
everybody, including us. People that
Mhm.
love
Yeah.
movies. But you always just feel like you see something like this, and you're like, what could have been? What
I
could have been as another 80s sci-fi, low budget
Mhm.
thing, creaturey kind of little thing. It needed to be actually simpler.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just needed to be simpler and be more like you said, hunter prey, creature
Mhm.
stalking humans, picking them off one by one, monster story.
Right, exactly. They tried to be too smart. And the thing with Corman, I think we could probably sum it up in this little phrase. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And he knew
Hmm.
talent. I mean, he
Oh
got Ron
yeah.
Howard out there directing his first film. Of course, James Cameron started off with the special effects on Battle Beyond the Stars and moved
Yep.
on from there. James Horner, and of course, he moved on to a great career before his untimely death. Um, all across the board, he knew talent. He knew talent, and I think he was not afraid to let them go and go nuts. Just like we have here. Here's a concept for you. Run with it, but you only got 4 days.
Yeah, you got to come
And
up with this in 4 days. I want to give you less than a month to have it turned
mhm,
around. And it's like, dude, we're
right,
not in the 50s. Like this stuff's a little
yeah,
more complicated because sci-fi horror was way more complicated than something you could turn around like the 50s, 60s. And again, we
yeah.
can keep going. Jack Nicholson, of
Hmm.
course. Um, so there's a long legacy of what he did, and I don't
Right.
want to tarnish that part by bagging and
No.
dogging on this terrible movie. It's a
Well,
really really bad one for me, really bad.
I, yeah, I mean, with Corman, you have gems, cult gems, and of course, one I
Hmm.
mentioned, which Death Ray 2000, Battle Beyond the Stars has gone to a level of occult status. Uh, a Little Shop of Horrors, the original one.
Hmm.
Uh, Again, with if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have had the musical that came later on and the big hit. There were some great ideas, some great cult stuff, some forgotten that should be remembered more, like Android, like we talked before. Then you have those cringy ones, like this film, like Galaxy of Terror, and you just kind of wonder, Roger, what? But it's like dealing with anime. Anime, you can have such great Akira, science fiction, dystopian. You can have the boob and blood uh, anime. You can have a football anime. It can go up across the board. That's Roger Corman. He's our American anime that we had. You don't know what you're going to get out of him, and it can be good or it can be horrible.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And yeah,
I have to be honest. It's one of those things where I wish you wish you could go back and say, listen, man, just let this. Can we have this script for a minute? Can I just get when I
yeah,
get like I need like 3 or 4 days with this script. Can we just do a few things and then let me have like a long dinner or lunch, a series of lunches with this director, and we can try to make we can figure this out.
can
Yeah.
I hang over your shoulder? I might not be a script doctor, but I would love to hang over your shoulder and go, you know
Yeah.
about this scene here?
Oh, yeah. I have no
I mean,
problem
I
pretending to
mean,
be cosplaying as a script doctor because Lord knows they needed one. I will more than
yeah.
have. I've written a few scripts, so I feel like I know enough to be dangerous to fix this mess.
Well, I think it's just common sense and storytelling. Why
Yeah.
do you want this? What is going on here? You just got. I mean, it's like the Lutheran in me. What does this mean? So, what does this scene mean?
I
Okay,
love
how can
the
we achieve
analogy
this?
with that. That's fantastic. I'm gonna have to. I'll have to use that to channel my inner Lutheran. That is pretty good. That is pretty
Uh,
good.
I can't help
All
it. I'm a
right. Well,
diehard Missouri Synod Lutheran, so but it's just that thing. It's like, what does this mean? This scene. What? So how can we achieve that? What's the purpose? Okay, we know we have this limitations. What can we play to this limitations? And they needed somebody
yeah.
like that on
Yeah, they needed to just be forced in a room with
there.
some notepads to rewatch movies like
Hmm.
Alien,
Hmm.
Halloween, and The
Right.
Thing that predated all of this. And can you guys just jot down what you like about all these? Like, what are the things that work? And we're just going to do those things. We're totally going to use the Roger Corman name to cheat and
Hmm.
rip off everybody else. You do it anyway. We might as well cheat off the best stuff. But
Right.
I have to
And
borrow. Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
oh, I gotta say, and even look at the old '50s, because obviously, with the name Forbidden World, you can see that. Oh, maybe they're trying to also do a little with the '50s, like Forbidden Planet and a few others. So, do you want to hit some of that aesthetic and feel? Well, you gotta sit back and watch that and see how they build up things and bring it together.
Yeah, and I think they had some of that in here. The problem is they
Hmm.
just didn't know how to move it to this sort of time frame of when we're trying to make it. Like I think by the time you get to this early '80s, this is the type of it just didn't come together well. That's for sure.
Right.
So,
Hmm.
uh, I will quote Beard of Liberty from another show that I just did. Folks, if you go back in there, you'll see that it's us having a conversation about the Jurassic Park franchise being overrated or not. Sorry, Baron.
Oh,
Am
no
I
worries,
back
no
now?
worries. I didn't know if I since you. I didn't know if you knew that you froze or not, so I just put some
Yeah, I
in
don't know
chat.
when I froze. So,
Just before you did the quote. So
all right,
it's
yeah,
just
let's
like
do the quote
it's
then.
like
We'll do the
I
quote,
was waiting. Oh, you got that build up. You got that build up. You got that.
and then nothing.
Just
I
like
know.
this
See that?
movie. You did this movie to me.
Well, Baron, let me quote Beard of Liberty. He did a show recently with me about Jurassic Park. We talked a
Mhm.
bit about whether or not Jurassic Park franchise is overrated or not. And Beard said, "Well, I've enjoyed our conversation much more than I've enjoyed some of their stuff." And Baron, I can honestly tell you that I've enjoyed hanging out and talking with you, of course, brother, way more than this movie. This movie was that bad, and I will be clear that I am very generous with my 1 star.
Yeah.
I don't really do half stars and stuff, but I feel like it's not really rewatch. It's a mess. It's just
Yeah.
I feel like I could almost like I guess if I have to do anything, Baron, I'll take their hour and 17 minutes or whatever it is. Let's turn it into like a 30-minute TV episode.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. We can trim out a whole bunch of stuff. I can't make it smart,
No.
but I can make it less dumb. I can raise its IQ by deleting some of the dumb. That's my strategy, Baron. But
The big
I don't
skill
know.
would be the big thing is not is making it more fun. That's all. And you don't have to have smart for fun. It's just okay. Let's just sit back, eat the popcorn, have some laughs as we're going along with it. Maybe make it look more like a comedy than an actual serious film.
Hmm.
But uh,
Wonder if
throw some Benny Hill music in. Da, 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 yakety sax. There we go. Throw, maybe
I,
that
I was
beginning
looking to
scene could
see
have yakety sax.
if Rift Tracks did. Yes, Rift Tracks has done a Forbidden Planet.
Oh, that
Oh,
movie
that's not
could.
the right one. That's not the right one.
Oh, oh, oh,
That's
oh.
the 1956 one. Hmm.
Okay. How can you riff
Yeah.
that Forbidden Planet? Oh. But yeah, this one
Yeah.
is
Well.
this one is rife for riffing. I mean, obviously they couldn't have
Oh
done this
yeah.
Mystery Science Theater 3000 for obvious reasons. There's just way too much. And and that's the reason why I'd probably give it a 1 too. I like the eye candy. That little 13-year-old back in that day when I'm probably around 13-year-old. It's like I'm seeing it through those eyes for those wonderful scenes. But it's like other than that, it's just ridiculous. Even those you're watching it for what a movie should be. It's like this is a hot mess. This is a nothing burger. Um, this is a bowl plop soup, and I don't know. It could have been something. It could
I
have
love
been
that you
something.
were. I will say this is why we enjoy hanging out. He had see you didn't. If you guys thought I was the only one that got that exact, did you see him? He was doing a pops exasperation moment right there. That was you saw it. He did the hand flip and everything. It was that's it right there. That was
I
it
mean,
right
it's from our
there.
generation. It's from our generation. It's like when you
It was
explain it, it's
so.
like, it's like
We'll
I
try to
can't
find
top.
something. I know
I
a lot of the other stuff that we've talked about is actually still pre-esque, so we will probably try to level up a little bit, try to find something a little maybe a little more. We'll probably do one more like maybe a little more mainstream, and then come down again, and then we'll go
Mhm.
back into something this schlocky. So that's probably my strategy
I mean,
for my own
I
personal well-being. I actually have not even had a chance because I've been down the rabbit hole with so many other things going on. I actually haven't had a chance to clean the palette after watching this. I'm still
I
stuck in the negative because people know I'll watch something this bad and I immediately am turning on like a great comedy or something I haven't had a chance to clean the palette, Baron. I'm still in suffering mode.
I got
It's
a good
still linked.
I got a good palate cleanser for you. You said
All
comedy,
right.
something sweet, something wonderful. I don't know if you want me to say it now, but I'm going to say it right now. 1984. We're going to go back to 1984. We're going to take a look. My sister has one of Virginia Madison's first films that she was in. This came out about the roughly the same time as Dune. Bud Cort, who provides a voice in there. If anybody knows who Bud Cort is, Harold and Maude, all these other quirky films. Good friend of Marlon Brando when Marlon was alive, and it's called Electric Dreams. Even has a great soundtrack. Culture Club is in there. Depeche Mode. I mean, again, this is a movie that was done by a basically at that time someone who made music videos, and we know they can make great films. Highlander, right there. I mean, that was done by basically a MTV. Let's make a music video, giant movie, and of course, with Queen and all that. But this is sweet. This is wonderful. If your palate is not cleansed off of this pops, there is something wrong with you, man. There is
All
something
right.
terribly wrong.
1980s Electric Dreams. Again, I've
Uh,
not seen this. I've not seen this. Let me see if I can pull up the. So I recognize the poster. I just pulled up
yes.
on Wikipedia. I didn't really do anything fancy here, folks. So
Mhm.
I definitely recognize the poster for
Yep.
sure. Nope, don't think I've ever seen it. Doesn't ring a bell. So
Oh,
we'll see.
great little quiet cult film. This film needs more love, in my opinion. It
Hmm.
really needs more love. But the song "Electric Dreams" actually is a quiet hit out there. It'll pop up. It's even been used for competitions, or singing competitions, and other things. So, and it's done by Depeche Mode. So,
Oh, so
you can't.
Steve Barron.
Yep.
Okay, okay, yeah. Of course, if any of you are familiar with the '80s, you know Steve Barron. If you don't know Steve Barron, he directed the famous Billie Jean music video by Michael
Hmm.
Jackson, and then has a long run through. I mean, obviously, "Run to You" by Bryan Adams, "Money for Nothing" by Dire Straits, which is absolutely
Oh,
phenomenal. "Electric Avenue," which, by the way, on Wikipedia they don't even put Eddie Grant's name in, so shame on them. At least give Eddie
yeah,
Grant his love for his one-hit wonder. Shame on. Oh, I see.
yeah.
He also there it is. Okay, because he also did "I Don't Want to Dance" by Eddie Grant. Okay, fair enough. Okay,
Hmm.
so yeah, a long run in the music video things, and then he goes along, and this is why I knew the name. He did Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
He directs Ninja Turtles. Coneheads. Sorry,
It's
Coneheads.
So for
Huh.
every good film like Teenage Mutants, he did a bad film like Conehead. So, but yeah, I mean, exactly. I
All
was not
right.
trying to
Electric
look too
Dreams.
much up, but Electric Dream, you left a lot of that out.
We'll give Electric Dreams a shock. We'll
Yeah,
see how it goes. And then if
it's
this
on
isn't,
Tubi. I believe it's on Tubi.
yeah,
Or it's on free services. It's not divided. Whether it's YouTube, Tubi, whatever. So go out there, people. Watch it yourselves before we do the next one, and you will not regret this film. It is, this will cleanse your palate. If it doesn't, Yeah, we'll see.
All right. We'll see what happens. We'll see. Fun and sweetness is what we're promising from that. Forbidden World, I can just promise you pain and stupidity. Yeah, that's a hard. So back in the day, I think, again, I'm trying to work on some mantra about great films. Back in the day, this would be 2 thumbs down. Back in the old school, from 2 old white guys, it'd be 2 thumbs down. But no, thank you, Baron, for doing this and hanging out, man. We always have a great time. Make sure you're checking out these descriptions, folks. That's where I get all the links and everything in there, so you can connect over to their content. Make sure you're catching their shows, different things that they're doing very regularly now, which I do. I've been encouraging Baron back when he was like, I'll never even get to 100 subs. I don't care about all this YouTube nonsense. So much has changed. Look at this now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, brother, thank you so much for doing this. It's always a pleasure. Everybody out there, you guys just continue to just be awesome. Be blessed. Talk hard. Until next time, I am Pops.
Terminator!
Robotic endoskeleton, the bioflesh regenerator. Activate!
Now you can create your own Terminator with the bioflesh regenerator.
I'm back to protect.
Yeah? Think again.
Battle damage. Must return to bioflesh regenerator.
Add flesh compound.
Activate!
You are in control.
Terminator created.
I'm back.
The bioflesh regenerator comes with 2 robotic figures and bioflesh compound.
In Jurassic Park, the place to go to satisfy a Tyrannosaurus-sized hunger is McDonald's, where something big is happening to your favorite extra value meal. Dino-sizing. For just a little more, get dino-sized fries and a large drink in one of 6 free Jurassic Park collector cups. Dino-sizing. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. And now at McDonald's, dinosaurs come to life on 6 Jurassic Park collector cups. Get one free when you buy a large drink or dino-sized extra value meal. But hurry, before they're extinct.
Journey into the mysterious alien world of Abydos through the Stargate. Daniel Jackson and Colonel O'Neill battle the evil Ra, but Ra strikes back with a sinister Horus in the wicked wing glider.
Fire!
I am Ra. You must obey me.
No way!
Then Ra's guard Anubis morphs into a jackal, attacks and captures Jackson. So O'Neill charges to the rescue in the ATC.
Fire!
O'Neill's got the glider in his sights.
And Ra's got trouble!
Stargate, gateway to the ultimate adventure. Figures and vehicles each sold separately.
Excuse me, I'm interested in the new collector's ornament from Hallmark.
Ah, the shuttlecraft Galileo from the Starship Enterprise.
Precisely.
You know, it lights up when you plug it in. And listen.
Shuttlecraft to Enterprise. Spock here. Happy holidays. Live long and prosper.
Fascinating.
For a store in your sector now carrying the Star Trek ornament, call 1-800-HALLMARK.
Live long and prosper, right?
No. I'll take 5.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's back and framed for a crime. He'll either do hard time or prime time. Perfect contestant. I want him. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the Running Man. When death is the game, you play for your life. Drop dead! I don't do requests. The Running Man. Rated R. Now playing at a theater near you.
Wow.